Happy New Year!
What's going on, guys?
Welcome to 2024.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 2024, 2023 behind us. On to the New Year's. I hope everybody had an exciting New Year's Day. We definitely had an exciting New Year's Day. So really looking forward to getting to this year 2024 and kicking it off with a bang. Speaking of kicking off with a bang, Glenn, my guy, how are you doing?
Great. Enjoying so far what is 2024 here. It is a very entertaining one to this point. We've had a bunch of great stuff happen. And yeah, it was a great Christmas season leading up to the New Year's. It was wonderful. 2024. Excellent. Glad we're here. Jeez, we got a bunch of stuff upcoming. It is going to be crazy. I mean, it is just wild. But yeah, it is good. How was your New Year's? Celebrate good?
Didn't really do much celebrate, honestly. Just sat around, did stuff around the apartment. Went to the gym. Really, everything I need to do to get in preparation for this new year.
You preparing? You were better than me. You didn't want to wait till January 1st. You wanted January 1st to hit the ground running. I love it. Excellent. Well, that's wonderful. Hopefully, you enjoyed your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, of course. This is our first episode back since our last one, which was posted a couple days ago, episode 116. What was it, 116?
116.
Yeah, 116.
Yeah.
116. This is 117. I gotta that's my New Year's resolution. Keep track on the show of what episode is on it so I don't have a stutter every time I start. But, yeah. We are up and rolling. Before we dive in, though, we're going to do a couple out-of-sports topics. We're going to go over our Christmas, best things we got. Obviously, some of us are repping the stuff we got for Christmas, which is on both ends here. Yes, sir. Finally. Everybody must feel weird. Yeah, I got a nice Chris jersey. Not only one, you got 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yes, sir.
We'll save them, though, for surprise.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna let them all roll off on the show. But as Glenn mentioned, we're gonna talk about some gifts. I might go ahead and start. Like I mentioned, I got some jerseys. I got some nice tickets to see Atlanta versus the Clippers on February the 5th. I don't know what I got a belt as well, and I think that was really about it.
Well, I mean, jerseys and tickets for a sports fanatic like me and you, that's really the best thing.
Oh, yeah, that was yeah.
That is awesome. Well, yeah, it was a successful Christmas at the Wilson household. That's very, very good. Another successful one at the Monastra one as well. Bunch of good stuffs. Nice watch, of course. A bunch of nice shirts and a new golf bag from the missus. Very, very nice. Very much like. And surprise spring training. Phillies tickets. So let's go. Woohoo.
Yes, sir.
Got that going on. Yes, sir. Gonna be fun. Can't wait. Coming up in March. But yeah, just the usual. You know, nice shoes, nice socks, nice shirts. It's funny when you're young and you get socks. You're like, oh my god, I got socks. And now when you're older and you get socks, yes, I got new pairs of socks. There we go.
Yes, sir.
So now I can get to the other year.
One's got the holes in the bottom on top of them. So
yeah, I don't have to put another sock underneath, so I don't have my foot just breathing out. But I want the long sock. It's a whole process. So just to have nice, clean, new socks is a dream come true. It really is. But yeah, it was great all around. Good Christmas, good dinners, of course. What do y'all do for Christmas dinner? Ham, turkey?
Yeah, both ends of it. Turkey. I did something fancy with my ham after like a couple of days. I took some lunch to work, candied my ham. It was great. Yeah, no, the usual though, greens. We also had chicken as well. Yeah, good. Say, my aunt makes her signature dip. The Rotel dip? Yeah, she throws some seafood in it. She throws in a whole bunch of good stuff. So we had some of that, of course. But what was happening in the Monastra household? What you guys eat on?
So we go Italian for Christmas dinner. We go a little wild. We go to a little like a ravioli style plate, and then my mom makes this meat concoction where it's got a bunch of tomato sauce with ribs and meatballs and hard-boiled eggs and just sausage links, and it is one of my favorites. And yeah, we also the usual desserts, cookies, brownies. My mom made apple pie this year, which was great. I ate all that basically by myself, so that was
Yes,
good.
sir.
But yeah, normal appetizers, deviled eggs, and a bunch of other stuff. Got this fresh mozzarella and prosciutto this year. That was a nice surprise.
Yes,
Nothing
sir.
better
That
than some
sounds
fresh
good.
mozzarella. But yeah, same old, same old. Was great, of course, and yeah, all around success.
Yes, sir. Well, speaking of some success, we have obviously once again the New Year's is here. Shout out to the New Year. We have some New Year's resolutions. So
Yes, sir.
right now, obviously, this is the perfect time of the year for goals to be set and things of that nature to be leaned upon. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves into the New Year's season, starting with some New Year's resolutions. So, Glenn, with that being said, I'm going to let you kick us off. What is your New Year's resolution for 2024?
New Year's resolutions. Me personally, my own specific ones. One I like to definitely get done. Obviously, it's the basic one, but one thing I always like to do is I like to be consistent with the gym. So obviously, I fell off the last couple months of the year, so I want to get back to 6 days a week. Also fell off this semester in school a little bit, as far as I obviously passed, but I want to get back and finish my last final semester of school with all A's, or at least a high bunch of A's and some B's. I want to give some full effort. I want to cut down on my phone. I've been on my phone way too much. I want to change my mindset to whenever I'm on social media, I want to just be creating or ideas for the show or just something of the sort. I just don't want to be endless scrolling constantly like crazy. So I've been leaving my phone charging downstairs because it helps. As I'm not on it right before I go to bed, because that's when I end up scrolling the most, because one thing leads to another. So yeah, gonna stop that, leave that downstairs, would be nice. And I want to golf a lot more. I haven't been able to golf ever since high school as much, with everything else going on. So outside of that, I'm trying to find some work on at least 2 side hustles, trying to get stuff on the sides, letting money work for me online. Obviously following the great Andrew Tate. He has a bunch of ideas for us that we can work on. So
Yes, sir.
try to find a couple of those. I actually joined the real world about a month ago and been learning of that sort, so that's very good. But yeah, just trying to be sufficient. Trying to cut down phone addictions and, what does I say, lower time on the phone and raise the racks. Right?
Sir, I like you put that raise the Rex. That's a good one.
Raise the racks.
Yes, sir.
What about yourself?
Well, me personally, I only got one, and I think this basically about sums up everything I need to be doing this year, which is grinding every day. So people hear that, they'll think, oh, that sounds like a blanketed statement, which it is. My definition of grind every day, I told you, as we talked about earlier, I just started my second, which is in the insurance world. So and it's not necessarily me selling insurance, but in the insurance world, yeah, as well as what you mentioned, I'm also joined the real world. I want to say 2 weeks ago. So that'd be a good thing. We just found out on the show together that we both are now in it. Develop at this point, just good on a day in, day out basis. We all get, especially me, we all get caught up in, doing something good for, a day or two, a week, or maybe even a month if some of us get lucky, but just not trying at this point, doing it at this point. Get into it, the sense of it's every day in, day out. Because like I said, at the end of the day, the person that I'm grinding for every day is the younger Jay Sean and the soon to be older Jay Sean. So, that person, young and the prior and the future version, deserves a 24, about to be 25-year-old version to grind his tail off to put both of those guys in better position. So, that's my New Year's resolution. If there is one, now, even though I came up with that idea before New Year's hit, but at the end of the day, we're going to entertain the kind of New Year's resolution. That's mine to grind every day. Be a better person day in and day out. Understanding that in the day, we all only get 24 hours in a day. So it's all about really what you do with it. So New Year's resolution should be, just the resolution in general, just to grind every day and actually stick with it.
You can't go wrong with that as long as you're staying committed, and it's all about consistency at the end of the day. You can, if you do 1,000 push-ups in a day and then not another one for the rest of the month, doesn't mean anything. But 10 a day, and then that turns to 20. Just consistency, repetition. Yeah, that is great. Well, brother, cheers to 2024, obviously, and cheers to episode 117 as we're now ready to kick that off. Thank y'all for listening to our Christmases, and hopefully y'all had a great one as well, and cheers to the New Year's, and hopefully you're along on the journey. But yeah, moving to the topics on hand today. Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, I don't know how that sounds. Insurance world, that's probably an official name, but would you like to get us started?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I don't think we should kick off the new year any other way besides going into some events that happened literally 24 hours ago. So we had the college football playoffs underway. A lot of great games, obviously a lot of question marks on who should have been in, who should have been out. But we all know that this is the last year of the top 4 teams. Next year they move into the top 12. And I will say that regardless of what anyone thought, who should have been in, who should have been out, these games made for some absolute great film, great guys playing, great ways to compete. Obviously, head coaches who we obviously familiar with, keep claiming their case to why they're great coaches. And I feel like we should start with the first game that happened yesterday. The Michigan Wolverines topped the Alabama Crimson Tide in overtime. The score to that game yesterday was 27-20 in an absolute nail biter. That game was decided in overtime. So on that matter, Glenn, I'm gonna let you take us from here. Your thoughts, your view of that Michigan Wolverines over the Alabama Crimson Tide game yesterday.
Yeah, it was a back and forth crazy game. We actually watched it out, which was a surprise with a bunch of Alabama and Michigan fans. So I was cheering for Team Bama. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with a W on that one. But it was a back and forth crazy game. For me, I think Alabama just didn't capitalize on enough mistakes on Michigan's part. Michigan was smart with the football, technically, because the one interception that McCarthy threw was out of bounds, quote unquote, which it was. He stepped out of bounds and came back, which is illegal in college. But he had the muff punts and a bunch of missed field goals and just a bunch of opportunities for Bama to score and make that game not even go to overtime. But the biggest reason I think Alabama lost and Michigan won is they won in the trenches. Michigan literally got to Jalen Miller all day long, and they couldn't. Alabama's O-line could literally, it looked like Swiss cheese out there. So it was brutal watching in that first half. I thought it would be fine because Alabama looked slow in the first half versus Georgia a little bit, but that was not how it ended up. They took the 2013 lead, of course. The kicker for Alabama is absolutely amazing. Bro nailed 2 50-yard field goals in college. Get this guy an NFL scholarship already, please. But,
NFL scholarship.
Yeah. Start the new year off right, I say.
That's a good one, the NFL scholarship. Maybe we'll get away from these NIL deals to go to NFL scholarships.
Let's just do NFL scholarships from now on. Yeah. Hey, your scholarship has been revoked. Don't you mean my contract? Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, so, he's going to definitely ball, I hope, in the NFL. But Michigan got 2 big touchdowns late. They came down, big plays, getting on 4th down to tie the game, and then Blake Corum, I think he's going to be an absolute stud. He's super quick, super good. He runs in a 17-yard touchdown to give him the lead. And everybody's talking about the play call at the end there. I understand Milroe plays that way, so that's what he does best, maybe. But I just think everybody saw that coming, so I thought that was your opportunity to at least get creative and roll Milroe out and let him create an open space, because I just don't think 3 yards out he was getting to the goal line regardless. But big win for Michigan. Big Ten stepping up, taking down the SEC in the only real bowl game that mattered, because it seems like everybody now is taking the NBA approach where players are sitting out because of the draft and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Now the bowl games mean nothing, so thank God they picked the perfect time to do this 12-man format, because if people aren't caring about the bowl games, then there's really nothing to care about unless the college football playoffs. But yeah, what is your takeaway? Did you look at this game and see this? Were you expecting a Michigan win? What was your take going into the game, and how surprised were you of the outcome?
Well, to be completely honest, when my pick in this game was Michigan, but as far as the prize on the outcome, I actually wasn't, because you're looking at a Michigan team, obviously, who has something to play for all year, obviously with the situation dealing with their coach. And those guys obviously play with chips on their shoulders. J.J. McCarthy, obviously, with the famous tweet once they ruled that Harbaugh won't be able to coach the rest of the season, that it's like that or something. You got Corum, obviously stud and as a running back doing his thing. You got a defense that's very, very good. And that defense showed it for almost all game yesterday. You mentioned it. The guy, I forgot his name. He did the video with Drewski with the blitz, Bama blitz. Michigan said, "Well, we gonna Michigan, baby, Michigan. We gonna blitz." Like, they literally blitzed, and they got to the Mill Road all game. So I feel like that set the tempo. But again, you mentioned the nail on the head. The mistakes that Michigan made, Alabama just couldn't capitalize. Costly decision making on just pivotal parts of the game. But that fourth quarter, I feel like Alabama got to a little bit more of the designed runs for Milroe a touch late, because in the beginning of the fourth, he was looking unstoppable. It was delayed handoff, like not handoff, he handed the ball to anybody, but delayed runs that he was making. And I mean, he played great. He played great down the stretch, but Michigan was all guts at the end of the game. Late fourth quarter, they're on their side of the 50, going forward on fourth down. Hit Corum across I think Corum went in the flats, had this big gain on the play. Roman Wilson got hit with a block in the black, but they blocked in the back on that play. Lost them 10 yards when it happened.
A block in the black.
A block in the black, yeah, that's crazy. A block in the back on a DB down the field trying to block for his running back, obviously. At that point, I was thinking, because I wasn't really familiar with the college rules, I was thinking more NFL, like, oh my God, it's a block in the back. This might be the whole play that nullified. But it was just a 10 yards minus on that, on where the foul happened there. So
I thought at a minimum it was going to be like 1st and 20, but it was just 1st and 10 yards.
Yeah, 1st and 10 yards minus. So I was like, great. I was like, thank you. Then placed in a situation where J.J. McCarthy, he had a ball batted down earlier on a throw that he absolutely needed to make. But it's crazy because he made a pass to Roman Wilson later on that drive, but got them basically down in scoring territory when the defensive end tipped it. But usually, whenever you tip a pass, it throws off the trajectory. It literally tipped and it just flew up, so it just went up some more.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
seen a ball get tip and still be a perfect spiral.
Yeah, it was a perfect spiral.
Amazing.
It was, yeah. I mean, I feel like the football guy was on the side when that happened. At the end of the day, when you're looking at that and you're looking at how that ended up, like how that play, what Roman Wilson was able to do. Many people don't look at the nuts and bolts of the game, but after Roman Wilson had to go up and get that pass, the move he made on the DB to kind of stay wide and fight for extra yardage was huge. And then, like I say, you get to overtime, and obviously I think Bama was the ones who won the toss, and I believe
Bama won and deferred.
Yeah, Bama won.
College makes more sense because you can tell. It's more of a chess match because then Michigan has to decide if they want to do the field goal or go for it, and if they miss, don't get points, and Bama just kicks the field goal and wins. It's an entire different league. Yeah, you're good with the glasses too because my eyes are just with the headphones. It's dying straight in my eyes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a whole chess match type thing that they do in college compared to the NFL. Because in NFL you want the ball first because it's first team to score wins and touchdown leads, but yeah, they deferred and did it. But I was amazed with that spiral play. That was honestly play of the game. That was a throw that he needed to make in the situation, and he did. But as you mentioned, once Michigan got an offense, second play of the drive, you got Corum in the backfield, 17-yard touchdown.
Then, as you mentioned, that play at the end, I don't really see much of the controversy behind it. I just think, because many people nowadays try to look, anytime it's a close game, try to last minute referee, a last minute coach. Oh, he should have did this. Should have. Truth be told, the play design. First and foremost, it was a bad. If there was anything about the play, I would say it was a bad snap. Snap was too low. He had a snap issue on the play prior to where it went to his far right. He had to like reach out and catch it, because if he didn't, that would have been a bad moment in that game. But I mean, it was a decent call, but I mean, it was also good execution on the defensive side of the ball. They got to the middle of the line. They blew it up. You know, they had guys flying in and they made plays. So all in all, I mean, it was a great game. I think it was a great game. Many people forget that, you know, it has to be a winner and it has to be a loser. You just hate for it, as far as like, you know, for the guys who played for Alabama in that situation who would lose. You hate for them, you know, to a heartbreaking loss like that. But I feel like from the sportsmanship category of it, from the football game itself, two teams competing, trying to basically, you know, obviously get to the championship game. This game was nothing short of amazing, if you ask me, from watching the game start to finish. And hats off to Michigan as they try to basically keep alive the undefeated season with one more game to go.
Undefeated season it is, for sure. And it's really kind of cool that one point, and then I'll leave this to the other point. Yeah, that pass was amazing, and it was just solid. Like, he threw it, it got tipped. I was like, oh, that's nothing, incomplete. And he caught it, and everyone was like, what do you mean it was incomplete? I said, it literally got blocked in the line, and it still got through. I don't know how, but, you know, undefeated season, of course. And we will have an undefeated champion this year in the NC or college football playoffs, because in the other game, head-to-head, we had the other only undefeated team winning again to meet Michigan, which was the Washington Huskies taking down the Texas Longhorns in a thriller of thrillers. Both games were great. Let's just say flat out, we were happy that both games were great. Mm-hmm. Especially after last year. I know the college football playoffs, the first round, the semifinals were great, but the championship was boring as can be. So let's hope this year will be different, which I think it will be. But yeah, definitely a great all-around game. In that one as well, the Washington Huskies taking down the Texas Longhorns, led by Michael Penix. You know, he's from Penix, where we still I can't say it. But yeah, Penix is he just stepped up. He is.
Oh yeah, he was an absolute baller.
I'm just gonna bring the energy here. Penix was just, I mean, he almost breaking the record of semifinal if it wasn't for Joey B in 2019. He just came and he balled out. I mean, he just did what he was supposed to, solidifying his case. If anybody picks Caleb Williams in the NFL, I swear, if a team picks Caleb Williams over Michael Penix Jr., I hope they regret that decision for the rest of your life, because I'm telling you, Penix is going to be an absolute stud. I don't know what it is with left-handed quarterbacks. I guess I'm a fan of them, you know, Tua and all those guys, but I mean, it's really, he's just going to be a baller. New Year, same me though.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be an absolute baller, and he just did incredible. The game was over, honestly, but just a few things went wrong, and it came down to the absolute wire. I mean, they were up 2 scores, and then Texas scores late, or scores the field goal, which makes it a 2-score game, because they were up 9, then they made it 6. And you're thinking they're going to run out the clock and just get like 15 seconds, but the running back, Johnson for
the Huskies,
Washington, got hurt, and that stopped the clock. So then Texas had 47 seconds plus the fair catch interference. So they started at the 30-yard line with 15 seconds to go. 40 seconds to go. So that was huge. It was a lot closer than expected. But yeah, Washington and Penix took care of business, and that was Yeah, that's all it was for that. We're gonna have an undefeated champion, because when they go head to head, somebody's got to win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when you look at the season that Penix put together, I'm not able to go off top of the head, but the Washington Huskies, this undefeated was proven. It wasn't like they were playing like UMass and like Florida Atlantic, and I'm not throwing no shade on these teams, but
Georgia Southern,
right? Like USCB, like they wasn't just playing those guys. I mean, they were literally playing guys.
I've been watching some of these games and be like, "Hey, yo, Jay, did you suit up for that game? Because I thought they might have called me for slot receiver."
Right,
What
like
the
I mean,
some of these guys, these teams play.
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, it's not enough, 5-star, 4-star, 3-star recruits out there, so they got to get what they can get. But like I said, Washington definitely was proving all season long that they are big time team in big moments. And I mean, obviously, again, that starts and stops with Penix going for 430 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions on just 38 attempts with 29 completions. I mean, like that just screams ballers, right in front of your face. But I mean, I noticed his first completion of the game was like a 70+ yarder. And I feel like the key that really came out of this game was that Washington, hands down, in my opinion, had the best skill position guys on the field yesterday. They had the best skill position guys in almost every game they played, with having 2 guys go over $120 in the receiving department. Your running back gives you 2 touchdowns. Again, you got Penix throwing it all over the field. And I just feel like that Texas team, they, at the end of the day, whenever and it was a good game, obviously, I'm losing by 6, so less than a touchdown. But I just feel like at the end of the day, whenever you got stars on that Washington team, like how you do, those guys just come to play, and those guys delivered in big time moments. As you mentioned, being down, Texas being down 2 scores, and then by the blink of an eye, they're right back in it, and with the ball, about to be able to pull off the comeback, you're looking like, how is this the case? But at the end of the day, again, good game, great game from both these games. Shouts out to Texas for even making it in the Final Four and competing the way they did. But I mean, Washington, when you look at it, as you mentioned earlier, I don't, maybe off of last year's hype, but I don't see how anybody can actually look at, any other quarterback in college football and tell me that Michael Penix Jr. wasn't the best quarterback this season in college football. Shouts out to Jaden McDaniels. I think that's the name, Jaden Daniels. I'm sorry. Shouts out to Jaden Daniels for winning the Heisman.
Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking about the basketball player Jaden McDaniels. But shout out to Jaden Daniels for winning the Heisman. But I don't believe that. I personally don't believe that he was a better football player than Penix this year. I don't believe he was more impactful than Penix either. But again, hats off to him. Shouts out to Quinn Ewers though. I know he was the guy that I remember when he had went. He first committed to Texas because he's from Texas. Then he decommitted there. He went to Ohio State. Wasn't going to run back in Ohio State, so he finally decided to come back home. I mean, coming back home, getting your team to a game away from the national championship game is no slouch. So shouts out to him. But again, huge shouts out to that Washington Huskies offensive staff. I feel like that whole offensive staff are some gurus. The way that they draw things up, from the quarterback coach down to the O-line coach. Obviously, the OC, I mean, those guys are all brought in and invested, and it clearly shows because, again, they're just like Michigan, 1 game away from calling it a perfect season.
Absolutely. They did their thing, and yeah, big shout out to Quinn Ewers as well. I mean, with all the hype of Arch Manning behind him, it's not like this Quinn Ewers is an incredible quarterback too. So I mean, he's got that pressure on him, and he stepped up to the plate and got the job done. For the most part, because even to make the playoffs in college football is impressive enough as it is. I mean, even if you don't even go to the championship, it's still impressive to make the playoffs because of how tough it is. And when you think about it, I gotta stop in there, but 4 teams to make it out of all the top talent there is, you got a lot of things that have to go right because one little thing can alter it. So yeah, I think it was great shout outs for him. Before we switch, early predictions, or you feel like saving it up for later? Early predictions, just off the top of your dome, who you think he got winning?
I'm gonna save it because honestly, I actually really want to get this right because these are 2 teams that I picked to be in this game. With the Final Four. Again, I like Penix from the start of the season, but I've had a grown and profound love and respect for the Michigan Wolverines and J.J. McCarthy. So it's kind of like who I've been liking this whole time versus who I've grown to like. So I got to make sure I actually do my homework on this pick here. But I can guarantee you that it's going to be a pick. I mean, it's how I'm looking at it. Looking at both of these offenses, is You got super duper skilled on the outside. You got an amazing running back on one side. You got two absolutely elite quarterbacks. I mean, you got Harbaugh on one side. You got the collective group of OCs, offensive coordinators on the other sideline. I mean, it's gonna make for a good game, but I'm gonna save my pick until our last. What is it, Monday?
Yeah.
I'll probably end up saving it either until Sunday night or either I'll probably drop it on Monday.
What, 11:59? What is this? An assignment here?
Yeah, it's like National Championship Eve.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah, I'll do the same. We'll submit at the same time. Keep people surprised. I know I want Washington because I'm a big fan of Penix. I like the underdog story, and obviously a Penn State fan. I can't stand Michigan, but I do have Blake Corum coming hopefully to my team on fantasy next year. But yeah, hopefully it's gonna be a banger of a game. Back and forth. Maybe we'll plan a little. I don't know. It's a new year. We're feeling generous, so maybe we'll do a little bit of a live coverage broadcasting thing. I don't know. It's just an idea. I'll spit fire out there, but we'll talk all about that later on. As far as other topics here tonight, we are going to switch to the NFL. And
yes, sir.
We have two topics that have been, let's say, circling like sharks. What am I thinking of? On the surface. And
definitely.
Our chats all over the place. So
yeah,
I'll let you hype that one up.
We've been having heated debates about both of these topics here regarding the NFL. So many things to talk about. Playoffs right around the corner. A lot of things heating up, but for this show and this episode specifically, we're going to stick to two. And sadly, Glenn, it's two topics that I don't know who could have guessed it, but I guess here we are. But we're going to save the most dearest one to your heart, put it to the last one. However, it's kind of crazy because while we were talking, this was more so about the team about to mention, and I totally forgot who was across them where they got to play. But the Buffalo Bills at one point in the season had like a 14% chance of making the playoffs when they were 6-6. They barely escaped out of the Eagles, or not the Eagles. They barely escaped out of the Giants game. They got beat by the Patriots, which is absolutely absurd. They were in do or die mode, and they were in where they had to rip off a couple games straight. And right now they're on a 4-game winning streak. They marched in and played the Miami Dolphins, division rival, on Sunday? I think Sunday or Monday. Basically, and that will be for the playoffs. If they're winning, they're in. And if they lose, then they're essentially out. But they have to have things. By that moment, whenever they play, it'll already be decided on whether they can afford to lose or they can't. But from right now, from here on out, their playoffs started actually a couple weeks ago. But yeah, so
it's a scenario, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's either the 2 seed or out of the playoffs.
Yeah, 2 seed or out. Either you're the second, or you're not even in it. So basically, this is looking at the Bills season this year, and again, what they had to endure. Having games to where, Josh balls out and they can't pull it out. Having games such as the Eagles game where I feel like he was clear-cut the best player on the field and can't win. Obviously, the injuries on the defensive side of the ball, things, all what have you. I can truly say that no one's seeing this coming for the Buffalo Bills. When the start of the season happened, you're looking at the Buffalo Bills as playoff team competing for the AFC Championship game, finally trying to get over that hump against the Chiefs, who they just can't seem to beat. Getting over the hump against Burrow. I had my Chargers in it, and that just felt like it's horrible. But looking at what
a house of cards.
Yeah, it's not even a house of cards.
On a windy Chicago day. That's what the Chargers were.
It's almost like we didn't even play this year. Like it's almost like. We
wish you didn't play because that was embarrassing.
I mean, hey, as long as my boy Herbo's not hurt, going into next season, that's all I care about. But
as long as you got Herbo, and you fired
as long as I got Herbo, as long as we get Harbaugh too, but that's a little. But yeah, so again, Buffalo Bills, they're in a do or die situation. Now, luckily for me, they're going up against a team that I have no respect in, which is the Miami Dolphins, who's quarterbacked by Mr. Tour. I don't want to play real football. I want to dance viola. Him and his team, they can essentially.
Where you going with that one?
What do you mean?
I don't want to dance.
No, he don't want to play football. He want to dance.
He don't want to play football.
He wants to finesse. He wants to finesse play football. He doesn't want to play actual football. The Ravens shows that. Yep. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, he had the opportunity, to take down the Bills. Obviously, last season, they met the Miami Dolphins and Buffalo Bills met first round of the playoffs. Tua was not playing, and the Bills went to the absolute wire against, I believe, I forgot, Thompson was the kid's name at quarterback or something like that. So Skylar Thompson, yeah. They went to the absolute wire.
Actually impressed.
Yeah, I forgot the first name. I just know I was thinking about Dylan Thompson from USC. That's why I don't want to botch the name. But
if you didn't say Thompson, I wouldn't have got it.
Oh, well, hey, look at us, 50-50. But
hey, there we go.
Yes, sir. But like I say, I mean, the Miami Dolphins they can get rid of what the Chiefs were supposed to do when they met against the Bills. They were supposed to get rid of them once and for all, because if they would have lost that game, it almost would have been mathematically impossible for the Bills to make the playoffs. So the Miami Dolphins get a crack at it at this point. One thing about it for the Bills, I mean, it's kind of, and then I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it from here. It's kind of a bad situation for them, because it's like at this point they've won 8 games in a row. They won 4 games in a row, and you're essentially have to ask them. Say they win the ship, right? They won 5 games to close the season out. Then they won their wild card game. Then they won in the divisional. Then they won the AFC Championship game, and obviously then you win the Super Bowl. It's a good bit of games to string along in a row. So hopefully they can pull it out. But if the Bills, one thing about the Bills, they're a team that can beat anybody any given Sunday. We've seen the heroics of Josh Allen. We've seen what he's done. But in these past 4 games, he's thrown for a total of 733 yards, 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. But at the end of the day, they've identified a running game. So again, hopefully, they can come out on top of this one, make the playoffs. But they're in some pretty hot water.
Hopefully. I'm a big Bills fan, of course, but in this case, I'm a bigger Dolphins fan. So I hope the Dolphins win this game because of Tua touchdown and company. But the Bills, the best scenario would be the Bills win, or the Dolphins win and the Bills still make the playoffs, because they're not technically eliminated if they lose that game, because the Steelers have to beat the Ravens, I think, and the Jags have to beat the Titans. The Jags are gonna obviously beat the Titans. I don't even know that this year, but it's the other way around. It's the Steelers got to lose to the Ravens, because the Ravens already number 1 seed. They already locked up. Steelers got to lose to the Ravens. Yeah, you're right.
Steelers got to lose to the Ravens, and the Jags got to lose to the Titans.
No, the Jags have to beat the Titans, I think.
Jags got to beat the Titans? Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, I can pull it back up, but I think I just...
You're right about the Steelers. I thought it was Jags have to beat the Titans, because that's very doable. I remember seeing it. The Steelers losing to the Ravens is doable. I thought it was Steelers have to beat the Ravens, because... No,
because the Ravens are already undefeated. So they, if you beat the Ravens, that boosts your chance of making the playoffs, because that's a division opponent. But I mean, let's go to it.
So in order for them to be eliminated, the Steelers have to beat the Ravens. That's what I'm saying.
No, because if the Steelers beat the Ravens, that's a win in the Steelers department, which they need. The Steelers, and if Miami beats Buffalo,
the Bills.
No, if Miami beats Buffalo, that means that the Bills and the Steelers are fighting for that wild card spot. So
exactly.
If the Steelers win, yeah. If the Steelers the Ravens got to beat the Steelers, because if the Steelers win, that helps the Steelers
make the playoffs. Yes.
For the Bills to make the playoffs, no, the Steelers got to lose so it can drop their chances. Yeah. So we're looking
I was looking at and then I think the Jags have to win. Well, either way, we'll figure that one out. We'll get back to that.
I got you right here. It's right. So it's Buffalo has ripped off 4 consecutive games, but if 3 games break bad for the Bills prior to their season finale against the Miami Dolphins, they could take the field Sunday night, facing an all or nothing scenario. All right, if the Steelers beat the Ravens in Baltimore on Saturday, the Jags top the Titans on Sunday, that'll clinch the AFC South, and Saturday's night Texas Colts game does not end in a tie, the stakes get very real for Josh Allen and the company. If they win, Bills, So that's what it is. If they win, if all that happens and they win, they're all good. They make it. If all that happens and they lose, they miss the playoffs. So they need the reverse to happen. They need the Steelers to lose to the Ravens. They need the Titans to beat the Jags, and then they will need the Texans Colts game is not the end of the top. Yeah. So the real predication is that
they just need one of those to happen, though.
They need Baltimore to handle their business against the Steelers. Now the question if I'm Baltimore is, are we sitting guys? We've seen what happened the year they sat guys. They had an absolute. They dropped a dookie bomb on the against the Tennessee Titans, and the Tennessee Titans ran them off the floor. So ran them off the field. So moral of this story, the math gets very, very, very mathical if the Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills don't take care of business against Miami.
The math gets mathical. I like that.
Yeah. The math gets...
What I'm doing this year is I'm taking the notes, the best things we've said. Right now I got NFL scholarship, blocking the black, and the math gets mathical.
Yeah, the math gets very, very, very mathical if they don't win this. But
if they don't win, they're in big trouble.
Yeah, if they don't win, they're in big trouble. Now,
do the Dolphins make the playoffs? Regardless,
the Dolphins already clinched. The Dolphins already clinched playoff spot. So that's why that last wild card spot gets so. Well, those last wild card spots get so important because the Dolphins already clinched. So the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs regardless. It's just a matter of what happens in the rest of the league if the Bills do lose.
Well, if the Dolphins win, they get the second seed.
They get the second seed.
I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Ravens are going to tear through everybody because they look filthy right now. But that could be a high horse. I don't even know. I used to think the Ravens were going to be battling amongst the crowd, but not anymore. I mean, the Ravens look filthy. But, the Dolphins should hopefully take care of business on Sunday at home because I did say that 6. Oh yeah, I did say that the Dolphins would win that game at home, hopefully. And I got a couple bets. If you want to join that bet, by all means. Actually, yeah, you'll join that bet. I made a bet with one of our other Bills fan, Mr. Hugo, and if the Dolphins win, all right, if the Dolphins win, then. Actually, if the Dolphins lose and the Bills beat the Dolphins, I have to say that Tua is no longer a top 10 quarterback. But if the Dolphins beat the Bills, you have to say Tua is a solidified top 10 quarterback.
Absolutely not. I would not say that. Here's why. Because I believe in whether he loses or not, that's not going to justify him as a quarterback. Now, obviously, winning cures a lot. He can win the game and look like absolute, like he can look horrible, but have one of his running backs rush for like 200. So it's predicated. Him being in the top 10 quarterbacks is not solely predicated off whether the team wins or loses. Because like the next quarterback we're going to talk about on our next part of the show, you're going to notice that whether or not the wins can cover up a lot of stuff. That doesn't mean that the inefficiencies at that quarterback position aren't still there. They're still going to be there. And he does have a perfect opportunity here to really make this. This is a game right here that if a guy like, and I'm only bringing him up in this situation, but if a guy like Purdy had to play in a game like this, where you guys just got ran off the floor, you are in a position to completely eliminate or basically eliminate one of your competitors in the division. And this is, we are requiring, and plus you got the injuries on the defense side, so we're requiring a big game from the quarterback. So this is a situation where, again, this is a perfect time for Tua to up his stock in a lot of people's eyes who, like me, who just don't think he's a good quarterback. He's just a product of the system. And let's not forget that the Miami Dolphins tried to replace him with like 50-year-old Tom Brady, but that's another thing. And also Brian Flores lost his job because he wanted to get Herbert over Tua, but that's another thing. But I digress. So at the end of the day, looking at it, Tua has a great opportunity here to show all the people out there in the world. I mean, then again, it's great. But then again,
if he outplays Josh Allen, will you say that?
If he outplays Josh, nope. It also depends on how Josh plays as well. Josh
Allen's the best
have
quarterback in the world, and he's been proving it the last 5 weeks.
But in the day, it's any given Sunday. He can look like absolute garbage. Okay. He can sit here, he can try to be Superman, and he can just fall flat on his face, and then Tua can capitalize. And I'm not going to say it won't help him in his argument, but it would definitely be a step forward in his argument.
I'm just thinking about making a bet, because, I mean, I don't like Tua could play great and they lose, and my top 10 case still works.
Yeah, it could. It's all about. It's not all.
So I say we just make the bet, and
it's not all about
we say
wins.
Oh, I know you.
Top 10, no, because then now I gotta read you the top 10. I can't just take some out of top 10. Oh yeah, 201. We gotta play some more. No, I can't just do that. We gotta look at them and evaluate them and see. Do I see any differences in him? Do I think if I had to start off a franchise right now, what I want Tua as, is Tua top 10 worthy in my book? No. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, hey.
If we did have a bet, though, if either of them win the Super Bowl, not even a bet, you said it's a fact that if a quarterback wins the Super Bowl, no matter what team he has, he's an automatic top 10 quarterback.
I said that?
The Super Bowl. Yes.
I'm not going to say I didn't say that, but we got to, no. I'm not going to say I didn't say that, but I also don't remember me saying that, but I definitely got to find it. Yeah, it's on the episode somewhere. But yeah, no, I don't think that's
on the one we did either.
Yeah, I don't think automatically jumps a guy in, but if I did say that, then obviously again I stand corrected. But yeah, like I say, we'll see. Again, I keep saying it. He's faced, especially coming up, and that's kind of my concern for the Buffalo Bills, because they just got absolutely their teeth kicked in by the Ravens. So you got beat that bad. This right here is like back against the wall, like, oh, the rest of y'all think y'all better than us type game. Now, I will say this, I'm actually kind of trapped either way, because I don't see Miami ripping off, what is that, 4 or 5 games in a row to win the Super Bowl? Because if they win this one, then they got to win wild card, then they got to win division.
Oh, 5, yeah.
Then they got to win the AFC Championship, then Super Bowl. So I don't see them ripping off 5 straight. So even in the loss, are they going to rip off 4? Because they already made the playoff. They just go from playing, I'm assuming. But then, only in the only way, and I will say this, if for some odd reason Miami wins, I think it'll be a bad thing for Miami, because I think they might have to be looking at playing the Browns, and I don't think they want to play the Browns. I don't think anybody really wants to play the Browns. I will play anybody else. Let me play the Colts. Let me play the Jags. Let me play anybody. I don't want to play the Browns.
I would rather play the Browns at home, and then if you win, you have the rest of the postseason, except for unless the Ravens advance at home, then play on the road. Because even if you get the better matchup at the Jags, you're on the road, but say you get the better matchup because they're more favorable than the Browns, you then have to go on the road to an elite team like Buffalo, an elite team like the Ravens. Because if you beat the Jags, you got the Ravens in Baltimore. So I rather avoid the Ravens as close as possible to the AFC Championship game.
I will say this: whenever it comes time to make our picks, they'll be very compelling picks. But I mean, yeah, what I've been seeing from that Browns team lately, man. Obviously
I'm not messing with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco has turned into he had some of that special, like Mike's special stuff from 2012 still hanging around his house. So.
Yeah, man. Just think about that. 2012. That's like a decade ago, and he's literally.
We were in middle school.
Right. He's dotting up guys and taking naps on the bench and coming out throwing 300. like that's I seen a post. Somebody was like, yo, this man done played up against Ray Lewis and Ed Reed in practice forever. You think he's scared of some Sauce Gardner? No, I seen that. I'm like, hey, I mean, that's
you think
valid.
He fold to Sauce Gardner?
Right.
He's 2 of the greatest defensive players every day. And yeah.
Him, Haloti Ngata, Terrell Suggs.
He was also in a division with James Harrison, Troy Polamalu, all that Steelers
Lamar
great defense
Woodley.
that he played them twice a year for 10 years. So I think he's fine with today's defense.
Right.
He's good.
Oh man, moving on.
Out here balling.
Yeah, 100%. But moving on to a team that's not fine with defenses. I don't even think they have a fence nor a D, so I don't know what they do when they don't have the ball in their possessions. Let's talk about those Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles, man, listen, this is a perfect time for me to say I told you so. This is the perfect time for me to say, Glenn, remember when you was all at the start of the season and saying this and saying that, and y'all were winning all those games? I'm like, no, Glenn, you want to actually lose some of those, because if you lose some of those, what's happening right now can't happen, because then you guys are having to play for something, got to play and actually play like something. But I'm not going to do that, right? This is your time. This is for you to tell me, because obviously you guys have made the playoffs, but I fear one and done for you guys, in the best case scenario. But anyways, Glenn, the floor is yours. Your Eagles have won one game, one out of their last five? One out of the last five, because they beat, they beat one out of the last six. No, not one of the last six. Can't be one of the last six. I think it's one out of the last five, because they won the game prior. Yeah, won the game prior. They lost to the Cards. Lost to the Bills. Lost to the Cowboys.
No. Lost to Seahawks, Cowboys, and Niners.
Niners, yeah. Beat the Bills. But
that was their last good win.
Yeah, that was the last. I mean, actually, it wasn't a good one, but you think it was a good one because y'all want to look at it from just a fourth quarter standpoint. But anyways, I digress. It was a win. I wouldn't say good. But Glenn, talk to me, man. Talk to me about your Philadelphia Eagles. 1-4 in the last 5 games, man. What's going on?
What is going on? There's so much to talk about. What is going on? Is it the world? Is it ourselves? Is it defense? Is it the apocalypse? Is it grass is too high, water's too low? It's the entire damn team. It's what that is. It's what it is. Now, everybody has recency bias in this world, and they have no idea how to look big picture. For me, the recency bias, it goes to nobody on this team is free. Not a single person on the team has an excuse right now, except one man I will give an excuse to, and it's kind of the whole room necessarily, DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is the only guy I can look at that I say, just thank you for beating you. You have done everything in your power. The few chances you actually get the ball, you pop off for, I would say, 6-7 yards, a carry at a minimum. So just thank you for doing what you're supposed to. The rest of the team, look, last Sunday against the Cardinals, Jalen Hurts played a game that he should have played for the type of quarterback he's supposed to be. He played good. He had 3 touchdowns, no turnovers because I'm not really counting the Hail Mary, and he had 160 yards. Now that sucks. He didn't have many options, I would say, maybe, but that sucks for the most part because you're playing the 3-14 or 3-11, 3-14. You're playing the shitty ass Cardinals.
13,
so yeah,
I believe.
The 4-13 right now. I don't even know. But you're playing the shitty-ass Arizona Cardinals, so you should ball. And 160, not really balling, not really cutting it. So I know everybody's saying Hurts played fine, he played great, it wasn't his fault. He still could have gone better because the first drive we went 3 and out, and then you had the second to last drive where we only got 3 points when we started at the 50. So yeah, he's not excused, but it wasn't the specific loss. He's still on the shit list because he played like dog water the other 3 games against the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Cowboys. Played very, very, very bad. That's actually Exhibit A. Exhibit B, coaching staff. It is some of the worst coaching I have ever seen. Let's go back to the Seattle game. All the way back there when you are driving with the football, you have a lead. Tell me why, with 5 minutes to go, you're going for the end zone on a 50-yard bomb? Haven't done it all game. Why now, when you have the lead, you want to run out the clock, you air the ball out to not A.J. Brown, not Devontae Smith, to Zacharias or Quez Watkins? I think it was Quez Watkins. Why? No idea, but it gets picked, Seattle comes down, and you lose that game. Another play you do in that same game, you air the ball out. Why? You're airing the ball out. You need a field goal to tie the game. You have the best kicker in all of football. Just get 15 yards, kick the field goal, tie the game. The fact that you're in overtime is pathetic, but you're in overtime. Hopefully you can go down the field and score a touchdown. You throw an interception. That sucks. The game against the Cardinals. Brian Johnson. These guys, these coordinators, I swear, they have one good year or just don't have, like, the level of everything today is so bad. The level of the standard, I should say, is so low that these guys get promoted with no qualifications whatsoever. I mean, Brian Johnson is a coaching staff now. What is he doing? We get the ball. We're tied now with the fucking Cardinals somehow. In the fourth quarter, you get the ball because of Jonathan Gannon decides to do an onside kick when you have all the momentum. Cool. Give us at the 50. You do, on the holding play, you do a QB draw that gets 4 yards, another QB draw that gets negative 4 yards, so now you're at 3rd and 20. Then you do a screen to Kenneth Gainwell. Make matters worse, it gets 3 yards, and you injure your second best wide receiver in Devontae Smith. So that's great play calling. You got a total of 3 yards, but you were negative 10 for the holding yards. Wonderful. So you really lost 7 in the whole thing. But that's your mastermind play, and you force a long field goal for Jake Elliott. Just terrible coaching. Nick Sirianni is completely overhyped too right now because of the coaching. He's directly related to the coaching staff. But the worst, and by the way, the person I do excuse also with DeAndre Swift is Jake Elliott because he's done nothing but been amazing. Now let's go to who I truly believe is the worst, because coaching is one thing, but the players are the ones that really, at the end of the day, it's them.
Yeah, those are the ones who make and break.
They're on the field. They're on the field, right? So unless you're like a Brandon Staley where you have talent and you suck or you're mediocre, that's on you because you're not using your talent, right? There's ways you can do that because there's a certain it's a big thing, but for the most part, it's the players. Our defense is the worst I have ever seen. We went from the number 1 run defense to now James Conner and the Cardinals are torching you. There was no stopping the Cardinals. The Cardinals. Let me say, there was no stopping the Cardinals. Am I saying the Ravens? I'm not getting you confused with birds here. I'm not saying the Ravens. I'm saying the Cardinals. I know they're both birds. No, don't get confused. I think I'm saying the wrong thing. I'm saying the Cardinals made you look like a high school football team. That's how bad you were. They ran down play after play after play after play. Just ran through you that second half. If it wasn't for an absolute gift, pick 6, your defense did nothing. The run back was great for Sidney Brown, the fact that he ran 99 yards, but the interception was, oh shit, I got the ball, and ran down the field. It is so atrocious. I don't care if Darius Slay is out. James Bradbury, I don't want to see you on the field ever again. Ever. You cannot guard. The Seahawks game, that final drive, you let up every single catch. You cannot guard a parked car in the handicap spot. I don't want to see you in a Kelly green, midnight green, I don't want to see you in an Eagles jersey ever again. You're that bad. The defensive line. Guys, you used to be the number 1 run defense, and I could say we played shit opponents, but running backs are running backs at the end of the day. You were holding everyone, and now you can't stop my grandmother. They literally cannot tackle. It is the worst defensive performance I have ever seen in my life. And truly, I knew we weren't catching the Niners because there's nobody catching the Niners, and truthfully, they deserve it more than anything, so they could get that first seed. The fact that you blew this division, unless by some miracle that the Command Skins, led by formerly known as Sam Howell, now Jacoby Brissett, beats Dallas, other than some miracle, you lost the NFC East because of this, because you can't beat the Arizona Cardinals, because you can't beat the Seattle Seahawks and Drew Lock, because you get embarrassed Like, you get walked off the field. Like, Deebo Samuel stands on business, and the business he's standing on is y'all's head. Because he absolutely torched you individually. He had more touchdowns than your entire team that game. So, yeah, I would say that the Eagles right now have to completely be reevaluated. They have to deflate their balloons. Jalen Hurts, I swear to God, if he says learning experience or speaks in Instagram captions in one more press conference after a dreadful loss, I'm going to lose my mind. Because if he just keeps saying learning experience to learning experience, bitch, learn, goddammit. Learn. You got taught it too many times. This is the race for the playoffs. You're no longer the number one seed and coasting because you're playing Texas Tech or the fucking the last year's schedule was the worst schedule I've ever seen the Eagles play. It was so dreadful and it was so deceiving. The fact that we made it as we played as good as we did, it was deceiving, honestly. And this year, I thought at 10-1, it's the opposite because we have the hardest ranked schedule. We've beaten the Bills, the Chiefs, all these other teams that are quality. And it's just turned out it's either we were fraudulent early or we ran out of gas now. Because looking back now, the Chiefs are not that good. The Bills finally figured things out late. I think the Eagles was their wake-up call that they needed, but they were playing shit ball. Every other team we beat. I mean, we beat Washington twice. They suck. They beat...
You beat Tampa Bay.
The Dolphins was a good win, but Tampa Bay.
You beat Minnesota, New England. Lost to the Jets.
Average to dog shit opponents. So for me, it just sucks because it's so there for the taking. This team has talent, but it's just so poorly used, and it's just not. Like Jalen Hurts, I used to think, hey, he's on the sideline, he's staying focused of the game. Stand the fuck up, please, when your defense... You know how I feel about the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
I've expressed it on the show one or two times. Dak Prescott, I think, will never win a Super Bowl. Ever. Because as deep down, I still like him, because deep down, he's just a good guy. And he just happens to play for the Cowboys, so I got dislike him because it's an Eagles-Cowboys rivalry.
Yeah.
But he just chokes every single postseason. He chokes. Ever since 2016. It's not like we have 2 or 3 years to work off him. He's been doing this since 2016 when Aaron Rodgers beat them at home. And was it divisional? It had to be the divisional or the championship. One or the other. But... when every time Dallas is on defense in a close game, Dak Prescott, he's standing. He's either getting reps throwing, he's watching his defense, he is standing, he is reacting, he's watching the damn game. I saw a video the other day. Jake Elliott makes a 59-yard field goal in the rain, in the greatest kick I've ever seen in my life against the Bills, and Jalen Hurts. Nothing for your kicker? Not a single thing? It's just, it goes from Kobe, job not finished, to you're just acting like it.
I think the act is starting to wear off.
It's where?
It's only a good thing when you're winning. And honestly, look, I get it.
Or when you're
what I'm saying? Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a double-edged sword because guys who quarterback, look at Tom. Look at any great quarterback. You see, he's in guys' faces. He's with it. He's going at it. He's going down iPads. Like the team is seeing his emotion, and they also know how much he's worked to get to where he is. Jalen got the perfect story. Jalen wasn't supposed to be the starting quarterback. He was supposed to be a backup. They wanted him to be a wide receiver or a running back. They was going to have a package for him, and he's worked his way to be this quarterback. Your guys are in a slump right now, and you need to do something about it. You need to go out there, show some emotion. I don't care if you got to kick over a Gatorade can, and just for your guys to get fired up. Like the Eagles are not where they wanted this past month of football. You guys have won one game since the start of December, and that was on Christmas against the Giants, who y'all only beat by 3, by 8. So I'll be very honest. That is an issue as well. I never really much brought into it, Um, I will say that the whole act is, in my eyes, it's an act of, I'm going to sit here and try to portray this cool guy image, but if stuff don't work out, I'm gonna just keep looking like, it's just whatever, because when you do that, again, it's only going to work whenever you're winning. But I mean, look, it's a wake up call. I will say that you guys got your wake up call obviously way later than what it was supposed to be.
Oh, we've been getting the wake up call. We just keep hitting snooze.
But I mean, that's what happened. You're in these games, and a couple games where stuff were not supposed to go you guys' way, and you guys find a way to win. That's good resolve for a team. But at the end of the day, that can't be what you're relying on, because, like I say, we're looking at it. We're not knowing what this team looks like coming from behind or coming from situations that actually turn it on. And if those situations were to occur, which they have occurred because they occurred against the Buffalo game, Kansas City game, had to come from behind, that's fine and dandy. What happens whenever it's a dogfight back and forth throughout the game? What happens when you guys are, you guys come out flat and don't come out in the second half strong enough, and now you're really in a dogfight, and now it's really time to put that cape on and go to work. So that's that. But I mean, I will say that you guys are fighting injuries like anybody else in the league. You guys got some injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but to be honest, I think this all just starts with your quarterback. But before I get into quarterback, I will say that right now we're witnessing exactly what happens whenever you lose your offensive and defensive coordinator. Because like I say, right now the offense just looks completely different. A lot of questionable things. I remember earlier in the season you was asking why aren't they running behind this slow.
Did I miss that?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it looks like a group of guys right now who are year one offensive coordinator, defensive coordinators for a team, and like how you mentioned, the strength was ran off. The run defense number one is no longer there, but it starts with your quarterback. To be very honest, I think it's about time that we see this guy make some actual throws late in games, to actually put him in position. Because I think now at this point, a lot of teams are scheming up for him to scramble. And if you really look at it, if you're just going to be a guy who, in those critical moments, that's why I was so hot against the game that when they played against Buffalo, when they had they won by 3. I think it was a Buffalo game when they won by 3. That play that he busted open for the run on the left side of the field, it's elementary school. The drive before that in the fourth quarter, he threw it to the left. It was predictable stuff. He just took what defense gave him, obviously, but he's throwing to the left side of the field 5 times in a row to get him down the field goal range for Elliott to kick that massive kick. So I mean, I feel like at this point, it's time for him if he's going to take that next step.
The Bills played prevent.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. They took prevent and he took what they gave him, which is fine. But it's sometimes where defenses you're going to have to take it eventually. You're going to have to be that guy in those moments. But I will say at this point, his defense, and it's kind of funny because I mean, like I told you the other day, it's not long ago that Dallas and the Eagles were in a division that was called the NFC Least. It's not long ago that this was the laughing stock, and now again they had like instant success by playing better football in the past years. But at the end of the day, both of them still got the same problem. The rush defense, pass defense is very skeptical, even though that the Cowboys got better names. Looking at DeRon Bland, you're looking at Stephon Gilmore. Obviously, what Bland did this year with the picks or whatever. But at the end of the day, he's also giving up a lot of yards on the back end. So, and again, you're looking at Slade was out, Bradbury's, I never thought was a good corner. But again, you have good moments.
Trash.
And then, in the day, you have good moments, but you don't sustain it. You have good pop plays. You're an NFL player. You're on the football field. You're a starter. You're going to make plays eventually. But, those plays don't supersede you playing well throughout games. So, and on top of that, you guys, I don't know. I had a DB coach, right? And I love this man to death. I see this man at the 5-figure. Shout out to Coach Williams if you're watching. He used to always get on us if we missed tackles. Like, he was an old school guy. He'd look at us on the sideline. He'd come tap us. He'd say, "You better get ready for that tackle back. You got a heavy dose of it on Monday." Because we knew we missed tackles. Hey, I don't care about being shamed in front of these fans. That's my concern. My concern is that guy on Monday. So like I said, I feel like those guys he need to go talk to them or something. They need to actually get practice and tackling all week because they arm tackling and it makes me sick to my core. Because not to really cross reference too much, but in the Dallas Miami game, all they did was arm tackling. It's sickening to my stomach. It's disgusting. But yeah, I mean, this right now is the time. I would have liked for this to happen earlier in the season for you guys to go through the adversity. But I mean, it's really, really close because you're looking at.
We're past the point of adversity.
Right, you're looking at.
I truly believe we're past the point of adversity. This is just losing games flat out at this point. Like adversity should have. There you go.
I mean, you guys still in the playoffs. You guys clinch playoff spot, so it's not like you guys aren't making the playoffs. But at the end of the day, like what has to happen now is that you guys have to come out here this next game and get it going. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to limp into the playoffs. If you limp into the playoffs, you're essentially going to be pushed over, and then you're going to get walked on the rest of the way because teams are going to overstep you. So, I mean, but I don't understand what happened. I don't understand why. I genuinely think at this point, AJ Brown and Smith got something going on. Because I mean, looking at this game, he only got 5 targets for 4 catches, 53 yards. In the 4 previous games, as a matter of fact, he got over 10 targets, 10 or more targets. So I don't know what's going on. I feel like you guys got the best. You guys got a contention for the best, for number 1, number 2 receiver in the league. And you guys got Swift, so as I'm saying, it's like how you mentioned, the talent's there, but for some odd reason, it's not. This past month of football, it's not accumulating in W's. So again, maybe it's the fatigue, because I mean, you guys have been playing, you guys played all month. Got a very emotional. I feel like ever since that very emotional game against Buffalo, and then having a turnaround to play San Francisco, you guys have been like on a slide since. So, like I say, hopefully, for your sake, you guys can pick it up. But I mean, if you guys don't make the playoffs, you'll be looking at playing the Bucks in the first round. I don't got y'all passing the Bucks, but it is what it is. But that's not even the worst part, because if you guys end up somehow beating the Bucks, you know who you're going to play next, right? That team resides in San Francisco. Yeah, so that's why you guys were supposed to take care of business against this Arizona Cardinal team to get that number 1, get that top seed in the division, in your guys' division, so you won't have to see those guys until the championship game. So again, hopefully, for your sake, hopefully Dallas falls to the Commanders or the Commandskins, and you guys can make something shake. But if you don't, then your fear is going to become reality in the second round, where you got to look across the field and look at a San Francisco team who got you guys' numbers, social security, address, mom's address, dad's address, your sister's address. They got everything. They got your shoe size. They got your underwear size that you got on Hanes. They know everything about you. So, yeah, like I say, for your sake and for your team's sake, they better hope. Well, they're gonna have to see San Fran anyway. But I mean, in the day, those issues, they got to get fixed immediately. Because I don't think a team like San Fran,
if we don't fix this.
Right. I don't think a team like San Fran, who got that bitter taste in their mouth, they want a rematch against the Ravens. They played against that Ravens game. They want their get back, and their get back will only happen in the Super Bowl. So they're looking ahead. But if I'm you guys, and the Cowboys for that matter, that San Francisco team is a shoo-in to be there waiting on either one of those guys in round 2 and 3 if both of them make it in rounds 2 and 3.
It's going to be an uphill climb for sure. By the grace of God, we might get lucky and still get this division, but I mean, we got to be on the road the rest of the year throughout. And Dallas is going to get the 2 seed because they beat the Lions, so
right.
It's not.
I mean, and then I'm saying even on top of that, it's like even if y'all were to see the Cowboys, right? Say y'all was somehow to beat San Fran, if y'all see the Cowboys, y'all on the road, y'all going back to Jerry World, where the Cowboys wrapped up an 8-0 season. They have not lost at home. Their issues on the road. So the Cowboys is slick in a great spot because they're only on the road game they have to play that they go to San Fran in the NFC Championship game. So you guys got a gauntlet ahead of you guys if if for some odd reason the Cowboys don't finish this out and you guys can finish it out and y'all win and the Cowboys lose, you got to go. First off, you got to play Baker, who I don't care what anybody say. I feel like Baker can catch it any given time, especially against that defense with those offensive weapons. They can make something happen. But if you guys somehow get past Baker, then you got to go play Brock Purdy and company in San Fran. And if you somehow beat that team, now you're looking at a Cowboys team who is in Jerry World, who again has not lost yet all season. So good luck to you. But yeah, this all could have been avoided if these skids wouldn't have happened. Losing that Seahawks game, as you mentioned, can't lose it in that fashion. You have the game, get in field goal range.
Can't lose.
Jake Elliott just proved he can boot it from damn near 60. What are we doing? What are we doing? So,
yeah. Well, let's hope things turn around because it's very frustrating, and we'll see. But playoffs are going to be fun. Hopefully, it'll be a nail biter. I don't see anybody I would be totally fine with the Ravens and San Fran Super Bowl because I like both those teams. And as long as it's not Dallas or Kansas City, I'm happy. Honestly, this entire postseason, I'm actually happy with, other than Dallas or KC. But my luck, it'll be those two in the championship. If that's the Super Bowl, I just won't watch because it's just going to be hell. I don't know who I would cheer for. I mean, please don't win the Super Bowl. Please, come on. That's just God Almighty. I'm thinking about it now. That would just be hell. I literally would not watch the game because I don't want either team to win that. That was like when the Celtics played the Warriors.
Nobody wanted.
Looking back now, I wanted the Celtics.
I'll be honest with you. Listen. I'm not a participant in the NFL's rigged stuff, but I will say if for some miracle, right, these Chiefs end up in the Super Bowl, I kid you not, somebody got some explaining to do. Now we're going to talk about the Chiefs in our next episode, so I'm not going to get too heavy into it. But they need some help as well. Sadly, y'all look bad. I don't think y'all look as bad as the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, the Chiefs look awful right now. They have just not stepped up to the level. But yeah, I'm in agreeing with you that when Aaron Foster said they hand them a script and every single game is scripted and it's the same thing, I don't buy that because hang on, my bike's just going. I don't believe that every single game and not a single player is like said anything before or anything of the sort. However, I do believe they want certain players to win and they call certain games. Like last year's AFC Championship game, it was 100% called for the Chiefs because there's calling a play like the holding in the Super Bowl. That's a play. That's one play you can call holding. When they redo another play, they give you that play again. I mean, come on. But that's neither here or there. Something will be up if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. But like I said again,
they're not better than the Ravens.
So we'll definitely chop that up on our next episode. That's all for you guys for this one. Before we get out, Glenn, it was a question I think I was supposed to ask it earlier. I forgot to ask it. So to wrap up this show, right? Again, we got our New Year's resolutions out the way. However, we're gonna do something as well. Basically, 2024 will be the year of. I think we gotta fill it in. So, Glenn, in your mind, right, at the end of 2012, with the beginning of 2024, it's almost like looking at a book cover, and you got to look at the book and say, what kind of book would this be like? 2024 will be the year of what?
2024 will be the year of 5,000 followers.
5K followers. Okay, so you went with the store. You went with the show's approach. I'm down with that. I'm 100%.
Oh, you mean for the show or for
in general? Like in general, anyone. Yeah, it didn't matter.
2024 will be, let me say, the foundation. It'll set up many years to come.
The foundation. I'm down with that. But I'm 100% in agreement with the 5,000 mark. Looking to grow each one of our social media accounts on to 5,000. minimum. I do believe with, like I said, with the hard work and the grind, we will 100% get there. Right now, it gives us a clean slate. Go ahead and get some stuff on the table and get the ball rolling on a lot more in-person things. So I feel like when we get those in, I mean, the followers will take care of themselves. So I 100% agree. But to get us out of here, my 2024 will be, I got this year, for everybody listening, 2024 will be the year of decisions. As many of you guys know, we got a huge, obviously, presidential election coming up. But not only just that, I mean, a lot of stuff. You got the housing market looking the way it's looking, supposed to be going back down eventually. You got like I say, the cost of groceries, you got the cost of a lot. But at the end of the day, what many people forget and they lose in translation is that you got the cost of your future as well. So every day is the day that you got millions of decisions that you got to make. So at the end of the day, look at it from a standpoint of whatever your dream life is, your dream state, is nowhere near unattainable. Only thing that matters is that you're making the right decisions. And whether that's waking up at whatever time you wake up at 5 o'clock, you need 30 minutes extra. I wake up at 4:30. Besides hitting the snooze button, leaving the house 5 minutes earlier to get to work, taking 5 more extra minutes in the gym or 5 more extra minutes in the study or anything like that. This will be the year of decisions. Because like I said, a lot of stuff going on in the world, a lot of stuff going on in the United States. And I firmly believe that this will be the year of decisions on all accounts.
Foundation and decisions. Perfect
Yes,
combo. Excellent. Well, yeah, like we said, obviously it was a great way to kick off the year. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. And we're going to be with y'all a whole bunch this year. We're going to be hopefully hit that 5K mark. First we got to hit 1,000. And the rest is kind of history.
Yes, sir. Well, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like Glenn mentioned, we're going to definitely be with you guys a lot this year. A lot of sports, a lot of things. NHL season, got MLB season coming down the pipeline. NBA's officially, technically, mine is really just starting. So like, it's a lot of stuff. So anything sports related, anything you guys want to see, just give us a shout. And yeah, that's going to be a wrap for that one.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great rest of your night.